Should you be rerolling in Honkai Star Rail? Now, this is something that always happens with every new game release. People reroll. I personally am a massive reroller. I love rerolling in games. I find it quite enjoyable personally. I normally play free to play, so the rerolling process allows me to have a bit of that RNG fun of summoning without having to spend the money. And then once I get a character that I really like and I like the account, maybe I then go ahead and spend on that account because I've got a character I like. So I personally am normally a fan of rerolling, but I wanted to go through the general sort of TLDR of rerolls in this one. This isn't going to be a reroll guide. I'm not going to tell you who to reroll for. I will be making guides on that for people that want to min-max and stuff like that in the future. But in general, I wanted to give you the TLDR on roughly the time it's going to take to reroll, and then look at the reasons why you may want to reroll in this game, because a lot of the key reasons that I reroll in games are not present in this one. So even I'm considering not rerolling, but I want to go through the pros and cons so that you can make your own decision. It's not a cut and dry, you should reroll, you shouldn't reroll. It depends on the type of player you are, the tolerance you have to the time it takes to reroll, and the just tolerating the RNG of not getting what you like for a long period of time, and how much that would impact your gameplay. So there's no cut and dry answer. I wanted to go through it so you guys have all the variables to think about when you're choosing if you want to reroll in this game. So let's get into it. Okay, so first off is TLDR on the rough time it takes. It's probably going to take about 25 minutes to 35 minutes to do a reroll. I looked over my footage from the beta when I started the game up until when I got summons. Obviously, I was streaming, you know, I was a bit slower, but I'm thinking 25 to 35 minutes to unlock summons and then claim your pre-registration rewards, provided they do give them straight in the mail as soon as you unlock summons. That's another thing we got to wait and see that we don't know until the official launch. And then you can go ahead and summon. So this game has a lot of dialogue in it and it can't be skipped. So that's what makes the reroll process incredibly slow. Now, the next thing about the reroll process is going to be that you need to make new accounts every time. Hoyo don't have guest accounts in their games, which means you've got to create a new Hoyo account every time that you want to play, or a new login through another means. So it's going to be a bit slow on the account side as well, rerolling. It's not like just having a guest account, you know, closing out of it and logging in as a new guest. Not going to be possible. So it is a bit more tedious in that sense compared to some other games on the rerolling front. The next thing that I want to look at is going to be the summons that we have in the game. So if I jump over here and we take a look at the summons. So basically we have the rate up banners. Now with the pre-registration rewards, we're not going to be getting the Star Rail Special Pass. We're going to be getting the Star Rail Passes, which are going to be only usable on the normal banner. Now we will also have a beginner banner, but you're going to want to do your rerolls on the normal banner so that eventually you'll be able to get the beginner banner pity as well. So you're trying to just one up yourself on getting a 5-star. So you're going to be doing 20 pulls on this banner and hoping to get the rates. Now, when we look at the view details on this banner, just so you know, you've got a 0.3% chance at obtaining a 5-star character and a 0.3% chance of getting a 5-star, did I say 3-star character? 5-star character, and a 0.3% chance at a 5-star light cone. So you're looking at, if you want to get a character, it's going to be a 0.3% chance on this one, and you're looking at doing about 20 pulls. So those are the odds that you have if you do decide to reroll. So just keep in mind, it could take you a long time to get not just the 5-star you want, but just a 5-star at all from this one, especially if you're looking at characters and you don't really care about the light cones, which are basically the weapons. So just keep that in mind. That's something else to weigh into the equation. Your odds are fairly low, so it may take you a long time just to get a 5-star. And if you're looking for a specific 5-star out of the 7 that are here, your chances are even lower at getting that. So just keep that in mind. Now, like I said, we do have a beginner pity banner, which is going to give you a guaranteed 5-star out of these guys. I'm pretty sure it is, after you do 50 pulls on that banner. So that banner eventually will get you a 5-star, but if you can get one at the start, that's what people normally aim to do. So the other thing that we do have is this thing that I'm clicked into, which once you do 300 pulls on the normal banner, you will get a select character. So basically, essentially, you're getting 2 free 5-stars in the game, one from the beginner banner at 50 pulls, and one on this one after you do 300 pulls. However, keep in mind with this one, especially if you're free to play, I can see this probably taking 6 months to a year to actually get to the 300 pulls on this banner and go ahead and collect one of these. The reason I think it would take so long is because you don't really want to use your premium premium currency on pulling on the normal banner, because you're going to want to use that to summon on these raid up banners for new characters and stuff like that. So really, you're only going to be want to be using the star rail passes that you get through the game. And once you've gone through all the one-off rewards, keep in mind you're going to be using 50 of these on the beginner banner as well to get, or not, it's 20% discount. So you're going to be using like 40 of these on the beginner banner. So, you know, you're already at a setback. And as you can see here on this account, I'm at 53 and we've gone through most of the one-off rewards. Now, when the full game does release, we'll have more story. So we'll probably get more of these. And once you complete story, you're probably looking at having maybe 100 summons. If I'm being a bit generous, I'd say, which means you still got 200 summons to slow grind up to over time before you can actually get this select summon. So all I'm saying is, don't rely on this select summon as being like, oh, I'm going to get this pretty quick and I can get the character I want and it's not a stress. That is going to take some time. So just keep that in mind when you're looking at whether you should reroll for a character you like. Now, that's pretty much all the info that you have. You have about 25 to 35 minutes, maybe a little bit longer to do a reroll. You need a new account for every reroll that you do. And you know, you've got a 0.3% chance at getting a 5-star over 20 pulls. So 0.3 times 20 pulls is what you've got your chance at getting the 5-star. So rerolling could take a long time. So now that you know all the variables behind rerolling and basically what you're getting yourself into if you do reroll, I wanted to go into the conversation of should you actually reroll and the characteristics of yourself that you might want to consider when you're looking at rerolling. So for instance, if your enjoyment in a game is directly tied to having the characters that you like, it's probably worth rerolling. Now, anyone that does choose to reroll, I always recommend, what I recommend with everything is, as long as you're having fun, it's cool. If you start hating it and not having fun, maybe try just playing the game and see how you go. Maybe come back and make another account later and re-roll for a character that you want. But I normally set myself a time limit. And I'm like, okay, if I re-roll for 2 days, I'm done after that. Like, you know, I'll take whatever I've got, take the best account, and I'll just run with that. Maybe I got an account with a 5-star that wasn't the one I wanted. Maybe I'll settle for that. But just keep that in mind, that you always want to set yourself a limit so you don't just start hating the game based on the fact that you are just spending your whole time rerolling and getting nothing. So that's the first thing. But if your enjoyment is directly tied in games, because games are, at the end of the day, are about fun, and if you have the most fun and you don't really enjoy games unless you have at least one of the characters that you really want, then your priority to reroll is probably going to be much higher. Now, for me, for PvE side of this game, I love playing the PvE in games using just the free-to-play 4-star easy obtainable units, because I find that to be the biggest challenge in the game. And for PvE story progression and stuff like that, PvE challenges, I find that to be the most enjoyable way for me personally to play the game, as opposed to having a couple OP 5-stars that just make me easy clap everything. Because at the end of the day, if it's a PvE game, I want to be challenged and I want to overcome challenges. And if I have all the best stuff that makes the challenge not hard, I'm personally not having as much fun. I know other people are the opposite, and I completely understand that. This is why I'm saying you want to decide what type of player you are. Now, I did mention at the start of the video, I am normally an absolute rerolling fiend. I normally love rerolling in games. One, because normally, even though I do this for a job, I can claim purchases in games on tax and stuff like that. I enjoy playing games free to play. That's just the way I enjoy them. Like I said, I like the challenge of it. But on top of that, I will love rerolling because I don't summon that much in games because I play normally free to play. So that rerolling process gives me my good summon fix at the start, and I actually thoroughly enjoy rerolls. Now, when I do reroll in most games, what I personally reroll for is going to be PvP units. That way, I can have my fun in the campaign, the story, the dungeon progression, if you will, the farming gear and stuff like that in most games. I can have my fun there using my free-to-play units, giving myself the greatest challenge. And then when it comes to PvP, now I'm going to use some of those cheeky strong units to try and climb the ladders and stuff like that. Still as a free to play normally, but you know, I'm going to try and, muscle my way up as hard as I can. If I can reroll for a good unit that's really going to help me there, then I'm really going to want to do that. So that's why I normally reroll. So in comes Honkai Star Rail. It's a game that I've played through the beta and thoroughly enjoyed the free-to-play progression up until the point that they give us the campaign using the free-to-play units. And I'm really looking forward to playing through the rest of the campaign using only the free-to-play units, being the 4 stars that you get for free throughout the game. I can't wait to do that. I really enjoy the challenge of it. Things have been challenging when we go into the simulation room and stuff like that. The fights have been so enjoyable for me in that sense. So I'm really looking forward to that. Now, then we get into the thing of PvP. At the moment in this beta, there is no PvP. And if they don't give us an indication that PvP is going to be in the game, I'm probably just not going to reroll. Like I said, my enjoyment in a game is not tied to having the character that I need to have. My reason for rerolling is normally just so I can do a bunch of summons and scratch that itch, and also to get a character for PvP that I'll use in the future once I get through all the campaign and stuff like that when we're looking at end game. So, you know, this could lead me into a whole nother topic of should the game have PvP. I know some people absolutely hate it. I know some people love it. Like I said, I enjoy PvP, especially in turn-based games, because it's an endless end game to make you want to keep grinding, logging in every day, grinding gear, because there's always something to aim towards. If this game doesn't have PvP and the end game PvE content is easy to complete, then there is no want for me to continue grinding, and it becomes a very, very, very casual game where maybe I'll log out for 3 months, wait for a new update, log back in. So we'll have to see where they go with that. Like I said, I'd love PvP in the game so that then, you know, there is that option for people who want to do it. My solution to PvP for people who don't like it and say, I don't want to have to do this for the rewards, just make the PvP rewards more, you know, cosmetic, you know, just the flex of climbing a ladder. That's good enough for me. I don't need a bunch of premium currency for climbing a ladder or anything like that. If they can just have that and, you know, there's no need for people who don't like PvP to do it, then that is cool. But we'll have to wait and see. Once again, I'm not going to turn this into a PvP talk video because I know it enrages some people because they hate PvP. But in general, for me personally, why we got onto that topic is that I probably will not reroll in this game purely because I don't see the need for me to do it to have enjoyment in the game. So once again, it's up to you. But once again, the TLDR to round it out is you're looking at 25 to 35, maybe a little bit more to reroll minutes. You're going to create a new account for every reroll. You got a 0.3% chance at getting a 5-star character off the normal banner, and you're going to have about 20 pulls. So that's the core of it. Then, like I said, you got to weigh up the second half of this video and whether you think it's a must-do to reroll for you to enjoy the game. Answer that question for yourself, and then you have it. Your answer. Do you want to? Should you be rerolling in this game? But once again, hopefully that helps you guys make a decision. I will do reroll guides, characters to reroll for if you're looking at quote-unquote meta, depending on what the meta forms of the game end up being. I will do that closer to the launch of the game. But as always, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you have an awesome day, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Cheers.